Hello and welcome to our 4-minute summary of Paradise Lost. This is an epic poem written by the English poet John Milton. Now, the first thing you might be asking is, what is an epic poem? To be clear, an epic poem usually has a calling of the muse, so it's any type of poetry which has a muse, an inspiration. It starts in the middle of a story and it centers around a main hero. A very famous example of an epic poem is the Odyssey, and Paradise Lost is another very, very famous epic poem which is written in blank verse by John Milton. It does not have a rhyme scheme. It has what we'd either call an irregular rhyme scheme or blank verse. And it's written in the style of Greek epic poetry. However, he does apply it to a Christian story taken from the book of Genesis. Specifically, when you're thinking about this story, the muse that Milton invokes is the Holy Spirit. He tells us that this story would be about the fall of man, why man does not live up in heaven in a state of perfection with God, but instead in earth where he suffers. And this means that this is the story taken from the book of Genesis, the first book in the Bible, about Adam and Eve, who are seen as the original humans. Going into the poem itself, the poem or the story begins in hell. The devil and his followers have just been kicked out of heaven for rebelling against God. They had become jealous of God's son, Jesus, and they are now planning revenge. Satan decides to go to a new place that God created, earth, and to wreak havoc. Meanwhile, God sees what's happening, and his son, Jesus, does offer to sacrifice himself for humanity, as they both know what's going to happen already. Meanwhile, in heaven, in the Garden of Eden, Satan also knows that two humans that God is very committed to, Adam and Eve, live there in a state of bliss and perfection. He hears God advise them that they can eat anything in this Garden of Eden apart from anything that's on the tree of knowledge. And the angel, Raphael, does warn both Adam and Eve that they will be tempted, and he tells them about Satan and his mischievous ways. However, Satan transforms himself into a snake and he comes to Eve when she's alone. He talks her into trying the forbidden fruit, and he does so successfully. She tries it, and then she goes on to convince Adam to also try it, and the fruit that she tries is obviously the apple. Satan, after committing this act, happily returns back to hell. God discovers this action, and the angel Michael does go to Adam and Eve and tell them that they have been cast out of the Garden of Eden because of their disobedience, and he tells them that they must leave paradise forever and go to earth. However, Angel Michael does promise both Adam and Eve that if they are good in their lives on earth, they will return back to the Garden of Eden and back to heaven and join God in paradise after death, and everybody leaves in sadness. So that's it in terms of a summary for Paradise Lost. I hope you found this useful, particularly if you are revising on a very last-minute basis to ahead of your exams. If you found this video useful, do give us a thumbs up, because this will be really useful for other students to know that this contains some very important information that can really help them. But also, if you have any other videos you'd like us to make, do let us know in the comments, and do subscribe to our channel for more educational videos and free revision sheets. Thank you.